I appreciate you guys. Salute to everybody, man. Welcome to joining the Accidental Experience. I'm your host, Accidental. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gorgeous thing, you know what I mean? Hold on. I just gotta leave this quick message, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on 1 second, goddamn. Ladies and gentlemen, goddamn appreciate it. You know, it's a glorious day, and it's a real glorious thing. I have to make sure we do something. I'm just trying to. Salute to my people. It is a glorious day. It's a great time. There's a lot that I normally don't normally listen to. No podcasts. I really don't. But man, today this thing was so powerful. There's nothing better than when somebody does some form. Shout out to Trinity Time Tables. When somebody gives a description, right, of a situation, let's just say whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm able to break it down, not even in layman's terms, but where, wow, they got it. And you see a lot of things going on with a lot of these celebrities and a lot of these guys on these dating shows and just the climate of men. And as a man, a proud man that was raised by men, I can read a lot of the things that people suffer with. In all ways, you know what I mean? Like as a man, I know the mind's man is in a gutter, and I know there's men that have boundaries, you know. And you're based on your mentals. Like basically, if a man has a certain way of thinking, but yet he takes care of his family, but in his private behind the doors, he likes to do things that's a little crazy, right? But if there are things that he's doing that, depending what he does, that will determine, you know what I mean? And some people, whatever goes on in the bedroom is your business. No, that's not true. If it depends what you're doing in the bedroom. It does. It matters. If you consider yourself a great father and you're sleeping with underage kids, that's a problem. But if you take care of your family but yet you're sleeping with pets, that's a problem. We can't hide what something may be per se. Like it has to be a limit or more or less a boundary for us to know the climate that's happening out here in this mode of mental health. Now, it's a big deal for me because me as a man, there are things that I've noticed that have been changing the how can I say in layman's terms? I've seen some situations that's changing in our atmosphere, and people may not know what it is. So it's almost like if you see a person that's leading a country or leading a gang or leading a club or leading a Fortune 500 business, and outside of without them going to therapy, what therapy are they getting? You know what I mean? What therapy are you getting if you are a man and you can't talk to another man? Some men may feel like that's not manly, but that's another mistake. It is manly. It's manly to tell another man if he's wrong, if he offended you. A lot of y'all don't like telling men that another man offended you because you don't like a sucker. You know, I seen this disturbing video today that popped up on my dummy account. And this woman, oh man, what a real piece of shit. And, I say this because if I could just let you hear, man, I can't even show you. I don't think I'm gonna be able to share it, but this woman has a son. She had an issue with a bus driver. Now her son was, I don't know, maybe her son is maybe 10, maybe 8, I don't know, he's older. She puts the live button on and goes in a she records her encountering and approaching the bus driver because the bus driver said to her that you're not a good parent example, which is true because she's not. You know what I mean? She never was. Some people just don't understand because you have kids. I know plenty of people that don't have children that should have kids. And there's people that have children that should not because you're an unfit parent. You're just a terrible parent. You put your kids in danger. You're just a piece of shit. And I know it's hard for people to shout out to Hombre Lobo. God damn, nigga. Really appreciate that. Thank you for that super chat. And thank you for hit that like button, share, subscribe. God damn. So I must tell you right now, if you are a man and you're listening to this hear the sound of my voice, you're gonna learn a lot about how we know what you need, and most women don't know. This goes to you black, go not you black women. Excuse me, right? This goes to black women. This goes to you white women, you non-black women that may think, oh, you know the black man, and you really don't. Because a lot of people don't understand the non-black woman doesn't get the good man. She gets the garbage. Now, I'm not saying you get, you're foreign, you get the black man, you're a piece of garbage just for that. It's because he's over there for the wrong reasons. So, you know what I mean? Even if he was good as far as a provider or anything, he's no longer good anymore because he's there for the wrong reasons. For example, let's say, you got a Fortune 500 dude and he's over there because he don't want to have his kids with a sister. Well, that's, you know what I mean? You get what they don't want anyway. A sister's not going to want a guy like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of non-black women got to understand it's not a flex when you got a non-black man, a black man. It's a flex when he's with a sister that's supporting him. You know what I mean? That's, knowing that he can be with you, because on average, he will become victim to that. But anyway, let me not lose focus. The whole point of the matter is that I seen this one video, a couple of them, and y'all record stuff that you got no business recording. Now, this was a real record. Like, when y'all be seeing these things that somebody holds the camera and it's be a fake video. Most of these videos are fake. You could just tell because who's holding up a phone? You know what I mean? But she had the phone in her hand. She came downstairs, white chick, want to be black. She's been there before, you know what I mean? And she's walking down the stairs. First and foremost, any man, this is the problem when a man doesn't have a man in a position to handle his business. Oh, well, sometimes we got to step up as the man. No, you do not. No man's intimidated of a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't be, you're going to have a man. Listen, it takes a fool to deal with a fool, right? So you can't think you're going to flex on a man without having a man flex on him. I'm sorry. It's just going to hit different, Anyway, she's going towards the bus, the school bus, that is. And she wants to basically give hold on. I got to play this. I got to play this. She wants to give the bus driver a piece of her mind, right? After she's like, oh yeah, my son's terrified of you. Bitch, if your son is terrified of the bus driver, you should have brought his ass downstairs to the bus driver, because you're going to make him into a pussy. And you should have been like, whatever he did, I don't care what it was. You should have had him there. And then in that way, you can deal with this situation and let him know he can't hide in the house while mommy goes approach him. You know what I mean? That if you had the father was there, he's supposed to handle that shit. Listen, nigga, my son's upstairs, but I want to, you know what I mean? My wife's offended. Baby's father, boyfriend, he's supposed to handle that. You can't be in a position, woman, and go handle no shit that a man's supposed to do, because you're not a man. So basically, she gets in front of this dude. Basically, yo, man, I can't believe what I just heard. I gotta play this shit. She goes and approaches the bus driver like she's gonna be this rough. First of all, you're white. So ain't nothing intimidating about a white woman. I don't give a fuck if you from Brooklyn or you from the hood. Nothing intimidating about a white woman, especially to no black dude. Then she does the Karen shit and then says, "Oh, I'm gonna report him." Well, bitch, if you're gonna flex on a man and you want to get over your bully badass shit and fuck around and go to jail while your son's gonna be with motherless now because he's already fatherless, you know what I mean? What you're doing right now, you're going to create this nigga to be one feminine little fucking boy. All I seen when I seen him respectfully was YMCA. I'm sorry. I'm serious. I just kept thinking of that song because that's what she's going to make him into, a pure little bitch. But listen to this bullshit. Listen to this. You gotta hear what happens when people, this is how people get killed. You can't just be approaching somebody. I know how we are with our children. I know niggas are killed for their kid, but there's a way to handle business. When you gotta deal with a fool, you need to get another fool to fucking deal with them. All these niggas that you fucking, I'm speaking of her, all these niggas that you fucking, you should have got one of them to say, listen, do me a favor. I need you to come with me. I gotta tell this bus driver he did some bullshit, whatever. But it wasn't even containing to her. It was containing to the bus driver. And she had an issue with the bus driver. And she just basically did some ghetto shit. She tried to scare the nigga. He wasn't scared. And let me just play the video back. You gotta hear this bullshit. Come on, man. It keeps picking up this damn fucking headphones. Hold on. Yeah, let me just play this. This Bluetooth is annoying sometimes. Bluetooth is annoying.
This motherfucker piss on my mind.
Okay.
Oh, the bus driver's here.
Okay, first mistake, the bus driver's here. Whether you had a gun, whether you had a people go to jail. You live upstate New York, you fool. You next to all the prisons, so that ain't gonna be this. This is the part when you gotta use your brain and let the drugs, you know what I mean, subside. Understand, your son called you to say what? The bus driver touched his ass? Let's just say it was that. right? Even then, you got to make sure you pull up on that damn bus driver, that male bus driver, that black male at that with the police. That's the only time he gonna respect you. Trust me. Believe me. All right? Niggas respect police. I don't care what they tell you, because at the end of the day, when a cop pulled the hammer out, he's gonna cooperate. He just is. You know what I mean? That's why there's so many niggas in jail. So don't believe none of that. You should have made sure you had an officer or somebody. Now, mind you, emotions are high, so she probably not thinking, but this shit was all wrong. So hold on. The fuck is that? Hold on.
Let's get this motherfucker piece of my mind.
Looking crazy. Don't have the sun. So she's walking down. I can't show you the video, but she's walking down the stairs. The bus is downstairs. Basically, she trying to press the bus driver on some Brooklyn shit because she live upstate like he gonna be scared. Nigga ain't back down. And once he didn't realize she was backing down because he's doing his job. He got to do what he got to do. Then she tries to do the Karen fucking move. See, that's one thing about white bitches y'all got to understand. Stop doing the Karen shit, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? This is what black brothers got to understand. When they fuck with outside, they race. I'm telling you, that Karen shit's going to pop up, and that's where you're going to be reminded you should have stayed with a sister. All right, go ahead.
That wasn't rejected towards you.
It wasn't. It said it wasn't rejected towards you. Yeah, the bad parenting. Yes, bitch, you are a bad fucking parent. If you're on social media prancing with your son with his shirt off, with all these creeps out here, you are a horrible parent. I don't know why people can't understand it. It's okay for somebody to say that to you. You're a horrible parent. And that's why our emotions are running so high, because she knows it's true. You may think, well, I'm a good parent. I feed my son. No, nigga, you're a horrible fucking parent. You're being horrible now because you got his damn punk ass upstairs while you're approaching this motherfucking grown man. All right, like you're gonna scare him, and when you realize you wasn't scaring him, then you did the Karen move.
Oh, yeah, who's his parent then? No, when I said anybody that left there do that, I said that's not.
So that includes me then.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, bitch. He said that goes for anybody. He wasn't speaking to you directly, but you included yourself because we know that you're fucking heavy on the drugs, heavy on the meds, and yes, the fact that you are so open with this shit because it's all on social media, dummy. I'm surprised no cop locked you up. How does he know that you are a shitty parent and he doesn't even live with you? But maybe he sees what we see because we see your social media. Yes, bitch, you are a horrible parent, and it's all documented. But go ahead.
My son is scared to go to school because of you now. You know that?
Oh, well,
because your behavior on the bus has been very...
My son is afraid to go to school because of you. Why you ain't bring his pussy ass downstairs? That's why your son's going to be a fucking marsh. There's gay niggas that's more motherfucking masculine than that. Why you ain't bring his little ass downstairs? If he going to be a rat, let him be a rat. At least let man him up a little bit. Because just in case he bitched out, you could have smacked the shit out of him. But you're white, raising a black kid, all right? In the urban sector of things.
From what I've heard.
No, that's not true.
That's what they're telling me.
Who is they?
My son, his friends, I've heard complaints from different parents.
Oh, nice. So now you
can't do
So now you're gonna rat on the other parents. You see what I mean? That's the part about the white privilege that y'all gotta understand. You're gonna try to get on some hood shit. You can't be dragging other parents. What if they didn't want you to say that? The problem is with you and your little ass. You fucking all these niggas, and none of these motherfuckers could be a father to your kid. That's why he's a male. He ain't gonna be no man. Then you went back upstairs. Oh my God, hold on.
All we've been doing is telling him to sit in the seat.
But your opinion.
All we was doing is telling him to sit in the seat. This is why y'all fucked up. See, this is the problem that y'all gonna have, especially no disrespect, but single mothers, y'all gotta hear me out. You gotta let a man do a man's job. If you ain't got a man around you, just suck it up. Smack the shit, pop your son in the head and tell him to go do his fucking homework. It's not that serious. Because a real man would have known how to handle this. Not no threatening shit, okay? Even if he had said, man, listen, do me a favor, man, just talk to my kid a little more. You know what I mean? He could have still did this a little differently. You can't. You trying to go to ghetto out. You tell other people feel this way. I spoke to other parents. So now this nigga's going to be on a bus with a whole bunch of shit because you ratting him out. It wasn't that serious.
Parenting is not in your place. Understand that. You need to know your role. You're a bus driver.
No, bitch, it is his place. He's taking your kid to and from school. He can, if the bus pulls up and you upstairs getting fucked or fell asleep and he's outside for 20 minutes beeping the horn, bitch, you are an unfit parent. He has every right to do that. He takes your kid to and from fucking school. Okay, if the kid comes on the damn bus with a bump on his head because mommy did it, he has all the right to be involved. That's where you're wrong. See, that's what happens when you non-white, non-black women go get a black kid and don't realize now you got your punk ass son sitting upstairs because he went, what? How do we know if it's true? See, one thing I learned about a liar, if you're going to let a person tell me a story, if you're going to let a person tell a story, let him tell a story. But let it, it's like somebody say something about me, well, bring him here. Who told you that? So-and-so. Bring him here and tell me that to my face that this motherfucker went and told you that. Well, I'm not going to bring him here. Well, we ain't got nothing to talk about. We ain't got a fucking thing to talk about. You better bring that motherfucker here. Because I just seen him, and it's kind of funny that, you understand? Any situation that you heard, you better bring the messenger here. Unless you seen it for yourself, you better not go by no hearsay, because hearsay does not work over here. But go ahead.
Do that. Just do that. Regardless of what you're saying, you already called me a bad parent. I'm taking this to the principal. That's not okay. Never will be okay. To put your opinion.
No, now you're taking it to the prison. What happened to all that street shit? What happened to all that street shit? You fucking wannabe? What happened? What happened to all that street shit? Now you're gonna take it to the principal. Why you ain't just do that from the beginning? You're white. You're supposed to go to Karen route. What? Listen to me. Let's understand this. You can't raise a man and be a woman. I'm sorry. You could mother him. You could nurture him. You could nourish him, feed him. You could do. You can't teach him to be a man. That's some pussy shit. If that was my kid's mother, I would have been all over. I said, first of fucking all, you never approach no man with my son. Never do that. Okay? You let me get involved. Let me handle that shit. Don't you ever fucking do that. I would have regulated that, but it would have never happened because I wouldn't have had no fucking kid from a non-black woman, respectfully. But my whole point is this. This is how these men develop this trauma. All right? Just watch how it gets worse. Watch this.
Okay, to put your opinion where no one asked for it. You enjoy your day. I'll take my son to school. Thanks.
You enjoy your day, you take your son to school. Okay, so when you live upstate New York, it's going to be cold as fuck, always snowing, and even way out the season, you're going to take him to school all day. You totally just disrespected the man while the nigga trying to defend himself, and now you want to go Karen with it, and guess what she does? She goes upstairs and nurtures him.
Fuck out of here. Fucker.
She wanted to say black nigga. That's what she wanted to say. See, you use the word nigga because you grew up in the hood. I get it. Up here, we understand. But you wanted to say the N-I-G-G-E-R. That's what you wanted to fucking say. See, that's when it comes out. That's when it comes out.
You know, I try to be nice to these fucking people. I do.
You try to be nice to these people. You see? See, this is what ends up happening. And I know a lot of white girls that got smacked the fuck up for this situation because they knew how to use nigga and they knew they used nigger the wrong way. And it never ends good. Okay? You trying to be nice to nobody. First of all, you're ugly. Okay? So you coming down here flipping on this nigga. You scared. You probably scared him just from your face. But what was all the ghetto radish shit because your son told you what? What?
That wasn't directed towards you. So then who the fuck was directed towards?
You trying to be tough, bitch. Nobody's fucking intimidated, you fucking ugly bitch. Number one, you got to understand this. First and foremost, understand this. You ain't flexing on no black women like that. You're not. You know the nigga can't do nothing to you. You would have not flexed on no hood street bitch. You would have not did. I don't give a fuck what state she was from. That's the one thing you got to understand. Y'all non-black motherfuckers got to understand. You're going to get yourself in a serious trouble. Believe me, if she had seen a hood chick that looked like her, and that bitch looked like she came downstairs and that bitch looked like Remy Ma, she would have never pulled up on her like that. Never. Fuck out of here. I say it. You would have never pulled up. You would have never pulled up on her. You know better. You pulled up on him because you give that you sell your pussy to all these niggas. I get it, but you thought, and then you went carrying with it. And this is the part that bothered me the most.
None. He's like, oh, well, I said that, but that wasn't directed towards
you. Explain it to an 8-year-old which you flexed on a man. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? You ugly bitch. You flexing, you telling your half black son that you would have put his pussy ass stood upstairs. Yeah, I said it. While he stood the fuck upstairs and you didn't even press him, bitch. You know what would have happened to me as a kid if I had, first of all, my father would have kicked my ass. You can't fucking mother these children when you do, especially that boy. You should have if you had to see this bus driver face to face, but you calling the principal anyway, you should have came downstairs with him and let him point him out. And then if you pitch a bitch move, then you could pop your son in the fucking hand and tell him, listen, sir, it was about you. Because you had an issue with, because you know you a shitty parent, nigga. We all know that. I got old videos of your shit on your page. You can't delete it. It's there. It's on my shit now. This is the problem. You a lunatic, and a lot of y'all black brothers got to understand. Y'all niggas got to understand, man, smashing and dashing. Y'all be making babies with these motherfuckers. You got to understand, a black woman's going to understand you, even though it's hard for her to understand a man, she's going to learn today, right? She'll learn a lot more today. But even then, she would connect with you different. I'm telling you, trust me when I tell you, white chicks do not approach black women that's about that shit unless they're going to go Karen on her. They're going to go Karen. They always going to do it. They're going to go Karen, or they're going to have 10 black chicks behind her because they know she going to get the crap beat the fuck out of her. It's just not going to happen. You understand? So now you come upstairs and telling your son why this nigga hit upstairs like a little pussy?
But that wasn't directed towards you. No, you shut the fuck up because you was running your mouth when my child was on the bus.
Bitch, you cursing, you talking to this fucking child? He's a child.
I wasn't saying all that nice shit when they was on the bus. So fucking frustrated. I'm sorry, Poppy. Don't be scared.
Oh my God. You got Poppy next to you. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. Yo, I wish I could show y'all this shit, but I know her ugly ass. I know how she gonna give it up. Listen to me. This nigga's upstairs like a little pussy because mama had to go tell the bus driver she feel like a man. Bitch, you got a pussy. I know niggas are scared of pussy, but not like that. All right, I know these black niggas are scared of pussy, but not when you trying to fucking intimidate them. Not when you trying to press up and go on with what's popping. Like, you trying to throw that Brooklyn. I know what the fuck you did. You thought that Brooklyn shit was gonna work and it didn't. Okay, you ain't let the nigga even talk about his shit. You came in that ghetto style with no class, and then you left upstairs and went carrying with it, and then you got your pussy ass son sitting next to you like this.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna do shit now. I promise you that you're gonna have a safe and nice, quiet ride home. I promise you.
You just said you're gonna be taking him to and from school. Of course you're gonna have a nice quiet ride home because we got this lunatic white woman that's gonna go tell. That's why. He ain't scared of you, bitch. Believe me when I tell you, if that motherfucker had did what he wanted to do, he would have lost his job. If he had said what he wanted to say, he would have lost his job because you would have got him fired any fucking way. You was already recording everything.
What time I'm on? I'm shaking. I got adrenaline. I was ready to slap that motherfucker.
Yeah, slap what? What the fuck you gonna slap him for? And to go to jail and your fucking son's gonna be with parentless? You don't know nobody up there, you fucking moose. Get out of here with that. See?
Even the person next to you.
He was like, well, he listens to cursing. I don't care. It's not in your place to make that judgment. You shut the fuck up and do your job. Right, puppy? Give me kisses.
Give me kisses? Oh my fucking.
It says, let them know, Mom.
I love you. Don't be scared. There's no reason to be scared.
Yeah, that's a future rat. That's a future fucking rat. There you go. Now, the reason why I use this as an example, a common example, unfortunately, is because we have a problem. And in our community, the black father is nowhere to fucking be found. He's no. Okay. This grows through a lot of tension because now he hasn't had a man teach him how to be a man. His mother tried to do what she could, but she can't do it all. Okay. A mother's a mother. She can't be a man. Okay. She did what she had to do. This motherfucker didn't want to do his other side of his responsibilities. It is what it is. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, and I give it 40, 50, that's when it gets bad. Okay, this is when it gets really bad because what ends up happening a lot, there's a lot of times you're going to start seeing a lot of these guys doing these interviews. They're going to be coming out, whether it's Diddy, whether it's Method Man, whether it's Busta Rhymes, whether it's Ye, Terrence Howard, all of them, all of these niggas now are going to start talking because podcasts right now is the new therapy. This is the time where people can be on a roll and express themselves. Now, these conversations should have been conversations we should be having one-on-one. I just recently heard of one of my boys that called me yesterday and gave me some very disturbing news. He had a scare, a health scare. And this is back to back because last month I had one of my homies that had a health scare. This year, this one was worse because my boy that talked to me yesterday is a little more expressive. A little more, not a lot, but a little more than the previous one. And you know what I mean? And to hear him tell me the situation that he went through, and now thank God he got a real good black woman that's holding him down. Shit got so bad. It got bad. It almost got bad. And as I was listening to him, I'm like, yo, he just educated me more, not only with himself, but just generally with health issues, what not to do just from listening to him. You know, at least that's how I interpret it because I listened to a lot of the experience. So as I was listening to him, it really, really hit me. Like so hard because I'm like, you know, this is the bonding that I can't get from a lot of brothers. Brothers don't really tell you what it is until they go into a situation with their wife or their girlfriend and shit is out. But a lot of men don't go to doctors. They go to therapists, but they don't go to doctors because they rather not know. Father didn't teach him how to deal with that. But moving along, my boy was just telling me he shared some shit that was really, really deep. And, you know, I felt good because he trusted me enough to bond with me and tell me that with these issues that were going on. But anyway, on a positive note, things are looking better in regards to his situation with the diet and the care that he has to do, the care that his wife has given him. It's just improving, and he's gonna put himself on his challenge for the next 6 months, I guess for the rest of his life, but to not do this, to not do that, to not do this. It was very, very, very touching. And it really threw my day off because it scared me like that. That's when you know you're getting older, where you start hearing friends having these older men issues. These are not issues you're hearing too much happening with people in high school. Niggas don't be having heart attacks. They do, but not as often as an older person. So I just went through this transition with my other boy, and his shit was worse than my other boy, but it was just as bad because my boy was more descriptive. Does that make sense? So my other boy was more descriptive about his yesterday, when the other one's not that descriptive, but there's not too much descriptive when when niggas' numbers is bad. And but let's just say that at least both of them have not the similar thing, but similar enough that's bad, very dangerous. They could both die if not taken care of. So listening to it and knowing the silent killer with blood pressure and stuff, just a lot of shit. Now, a lot of times we so quick to push into diet, but sometimes we don't know it has a lot to do with stress. And I just wish he would have opened up to me prior, because now he's been on these meds for a little minute. I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Hombre Lobo. God damn. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's support. Hombre's in the chat right now. He's telling y'all get them likes up, because these are the things the algorithm doesn't want me to talk about too much, because it's positive and it's helping brothers and you know what I mean, letting them be known and letting them know how important their presence is, whether you are father or a figure, father or figure, that's what a man's supposed to be. Write that down, father or figure. So I had this epiphany that his situation was so much, it hit harder than me than my other boy's situation, because I didn't see it coming with him. My other boys, his diet is not the greatest, so I wasn't too surprised. I just was surprised he got away with it this long. But my second boy, I'm like, bro, you don't even look like, what I'm saying? Like, West Indian dudes don't, I know they're big on the, certain foods and salty foods, you understand? But this shit hit me hard with him, you know what I mean? Then when he started sharing the details, I felt a connection, like, wow, this is a real friend, because, we all go through our changes sometimes, like, yo, fuck, that's why I dead people, that's why I'm cutting this one. You gotta be careful with that. Like, stepping back and cutting somebody out and knowing that you're going through your thing, that's understandable, but don't put it on them, because it's really you. If you want to detach yourself from somebody, that's some personal shit. It got nothing to do with them. Even if you think that you are the one terminating that friendship, you know what I mean? And that's your call, and it's cool, but you got to think about that. So it really made me understand my other boy. You get it? So listening to him, he was able to bond. My other bro, he don't bond with like that. You just got to kind of just figure it out. You're like, all right, you in the hospital for this situation, then that's what it is. You know what I mean? When the other situation, my boy is like, well, I would have never known this, because he didn't necessarily spend a week or two in the hospital. He had this situation happen to him, and a big health, it was such a health scare to me, because he almost died. This is why men don't go to the doctors, don't know if they have issues, don't know what they're abusing, and I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Nah, not at a certain age, you can't do that. That fucking body will remind you. So I ran across this quick, it was all together. Like, so the situation I seen with that fucking unfit mother, that fucking druggie, shielding her son from being a fucking man, to Terrence Howard did this video today, man, and it was real interesting, because he was speaking on something that was so deep. Now, I don't want to share the video, because I don't know if that podcast is, when you start seeing 1 million views in one day, they ain't gonna be too cool with people sharing their shit, and I'm not gonna fuck around and get a strike. But I'm gonna play the audio, and I want you to hear this.
Losing your erection is not
very deep. They're very deep. Stupid as erection.
The other day that said 50.
You know, there's a short life in.
Why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life.
Told you, a lot of people got to take drugs to deal with shit in life. Now, I can't relate to that per se because I don't do drugs, but I can relate to amount of the drug activity around me all my life. So, but again, go ahead.
You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what Heath had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, well, when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man.
Terrence Howard must be, I'm pretty sure he's blacklisted by now. I know Tyrese is because they're not doing no big films. He has to be because there's all this truth he's breaking down in here. This shit was heavy.
Man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. He's speaking in terms of the puffy party and all the above. When you give up your manhood, that's it. I'm starting to see a lot of dudes that's breaking down because they know they did a lot of weird shit to get into this industry. Remember when Steve Harvey was crying a lot? Kevin Hart going back and forth with his fans and the comments and shit of his Instagrams. All these individuals, as a man gets older, when he has to step out and lose his manhood on a personal level, he can't share that with another man. So he's gonna hide it. He's just gonna hide it. He's gonna hide it with drugs. He's gonna hide it with alcohol. He act like he don't care. He may hide it with, dragging women. He may hide it behind a woman. He may have a foreign princess that he put all his eggs into one basket. He's gonna hide it. And I'm not even containing to just him being gay, losing his man. Just whatever he did to lose his man. He could have just played himself to a degree that it fucked with him. He never had that discussion with one-on-one man. You understand? Deep shit. Hold on.
Parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head.
That's right. Can't get out of your head. That's trauma. There we go. Can't get it out of his head. Who's he going to talk to that about? Can't get out of his head. The drugs and alcohol is going to have a damn fucking expiration date, right? Who's he talk to about it? See, men don't talk. That's the only thing I like about this climate now, because unlike what people not seeing, a lot of people now expressing. You're seeing Drake, Kendrick, and all this shit. Kendrick them took his fucking abuse on his wife because of his emotions. Drake went and sued Kendrick Lamar. Like, all of this shit comes from trauma. Okay?
Things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel.
Wow. Brother, I never thought I would ever see the day that Terrence Howard is this heavy. They don't have the soul that they started with. Wow. That's some heavy shit. That's some heavy shit right there. Don't have the soul that they started with. It doesn't matter what they achieve at that point. There's never going to be happiness. Never. Never, never, never. That's because that soul is missing, and they need that soul to connect with life.
Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process, I had to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place. What benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal, and what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, he wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now
I personally believe Diddy was, what's the person that pulls the people in? Can somebody give me the proper phrase, the proper word for that? Recruit. I think Diddy was the recruit for man and woman to be part of the Illuminati. I really believe that. I believe because he was the trusted face, because he was black, and I believe yeah, shout the caveman. That's a fact. That's a fact. I would actually like to do that today. That's actually a great idea. But there would have to be men and women that's willing to do it. If I could get a man and woman that wants to jump in on this right now, I will give you, I'm going to actually, that's an awesome, awesome, awesome idea. I'm going to do something really freestyle, because I think this thing is going to be something worth to talk about for hours. But again, you're not obligated. Shout out to Chris. I just put the thing in the chat. I just put the link in there. You're welcome to jump in. Y'all can freestyle with it, man. I'll let you rock out, man, because this is something that's really serious. Let me finish what the brother was saying, man. If anything I ever said about Terrence Howard ever,
to be hands off with some you. Oh. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's
told you. What? That nigga dropping some heavy shit here. I'm telling you.
the difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So
see, a man doesn't take the same thing that a guy will accept. Like I tell you, the good guy, right? Male, I call him the male and I say the man, right? So, you know what I mean? I know a whole slew of guys, but I don't know too many real men. I'm just being honest. And my wife had to actually say, that's some heavy shit. She looked around me and seen every fucking shithole that we know around us, whether it's her fucking shitty ass brother, whether her punk ass nephews, family members, anybody. She's like, wow, because they're not men. They're not. They're guys. And a man's a whole different world. See, this nigga Terrence Howard, he ain't the one. That's why I know for a fact they blacklisted him. They had to. There's no way in the fucking earth.
Always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
I had no idea.
God, I'm over there and I'm playing the music. I'm sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolutely. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still, you know, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the Chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it. Now I can go on and do whatever else we need to do. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrence Howard. I'm an actor, but in the field of science also. So if you would like to connect with me, you can connect with me on Connect.
This nigga Terrence Howard. So that means he ain't getting that much work in Hollywood anymore, unfortunately. You just got to rewind that thing over and over again. It's powerful. Men don't talk. They're suffering out here, man. That's why these niggas is damaged. They can't bond with other men. They can't bond other men about their mental trauma and physical health. My man coming to me like that yesterday just put our friendship at a deeper level. I recently had one of my boys go through something, and with his daughter, and I hit him more, you know, like I didn't know he was going through it, so he didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to talk about it, but again, you know what I mean? That's a problem. That's a big problem among us as men. So you as a woman, this is why you're seeing the world the way you see it. This is why you're seeing this shit is such a big mess, because when you go to situations like Pop the Balloon, seeing how these males is acting, it's, or whether you're on Kindred, anything, it's all relative, you know what I mean? I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be a tough live for me to do because there's so much of stuff to talk about. And I didn't come prepared, meaning as far as like, this is something I wish we had a bigger, it's hard to get because they're in class through real zone, Caveman. Shout out to Caveman. But here, a lot of people are on the clouds, so they don't want to listen too much and put their word out and let everybody know that they're talking about this and get into a debate possibly. But the proof is in the pudding, man. You know what I'm saying? Men just don't talk, man. And they don't talk about their mental trauma. They don't talk about their physical health, good or bad. Especially when it's bad, you know. And I respect that, man. I commend any man that did that. Yeah, I mean, even my boy that still shouted me out, I wouldn't have known if he didn't go to the hospital, but it still changed things more so when my second boy did that shit yesterday. That shit was different. Like, that hit different because he bonded with me about the scare and then how he asked the nurse about when you have high blood pressure, does it affect the little man down there? It is scary to know that. Thank God I had these topics discussed with my old man, so now I have to be more open with other brothers. So even if they don't do it, I gotta be invited to let them know that the floor is available. You know what I'm saying? I need to do that. So I'm just advising a lot of men, y'all are looking bad out here right now because you're holding a lot of shit in. You're doing these podcasts. Method Man is doing, I heard a documentary, and I'm like, they're not gonna get the real deal. They're just not. Listen, I can do more with Method Man in doing a documentary because I know exactly what I would have to ask him. And I feel that, and that's just because I know a motive of his younger childhood when, you know, there was a couple of brothers that did him dirty, you know what I mean? Not, I don't know, you know, not no gay shit or whatever, but they just did some foul shit. And I got a great story I wanted to share with him because I remember when, prior to meeting before he got with his wife, how he would try to press one of my men over this broad. And I know that story would have us just like, if you ever see me do an interview with Method Man, just remember what I said when that part where we start talking about when we had the two girls in the car and there was a rumor that, matter of fact, let me share it with you. So years ago, before Wu-Tang, right before they came out, right? I'm talking like a year. This happened like in 92. So Wu-Tang came out like 93, 94, 93. So we was running around with these two girls. These two pretty chicks, whatever we knew. Me and my little man, little nigga, right? And we in the Act Legend with the BBS wheels. We was some fly little young niggas, right? And I was dealing with, well, one of the girls that I was dealing with, obviously, was April. It was this girl April, so it was her other homegirl. She was Shaquan's girlfriend. Shaquan meaning Method Man. Method Man's name is Shaquan, is his god body name, but his son's real name is Shaquan. So anyway, she was just rolling with us. She wasn't fucking with my man or none of that. And if it was anything, she ain't never did anything with him. So let's just say that, like, sometimes a woman, she may hang out with a couple of her homegirls and bullshit. And then, you know, if it happens, it happens, but it didn't happen. You know what I mean? My man didn't bring it to that level. So, true story. So I'm going to share this because it has a lot to do with the pussy level of a man versus a guy versus a man, right? So, anyway, we're riding around, and I remember one day I seen Raekwon Raekwon had a MPV. I'll never forget this. So Raekwon pulled up and I was with my man Leroy. So my man Leroy was like, yo, what up, Ray? I was like, yo, then he seen me in the car with my man. He was like, yo, that's the kid with the silver axe. So niggas knew me from the Acura, the silver axe, back in the early 90s. So anyway, moving along. We don't know who seen us because the car had no tinted windows. I didn't really start tinting my cars until I got into the year 2000. So, am I lying? I'm lying. No. I did have tinted cars in the 90s. Anyway, the nigga, some rumor got, my homegirl came back and told me, the girl I'm fucking with told me, yo, we got to go see, there's a rumor going around that that we fucking these two niggas that's in this silver car and Shaquan is the tight. I never forget that. So I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. Like, I need you to tell him and let him know there ain't nothing happening like that. So she wanted me to go to Shaquan. Now, Shaquan used to be friends with the niggas I'm telling y'all about. They're not friends anymore, right? AKA Method Man, Clifford Smith. So these niggas are still selling drugs in front of 160 Park Hill. Real story, like, and I know Meth's gonna bug when he ever hear this shit, right? I gotta interview him just for this. So anyway, the car was a two-door car, so the girl that I was with got in the back seat with her to trade the seat for my boy to get in the front because they didn't want us to look like a couple. So she wanted me to tell the nigga. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll tell them. Now, that's what I said. Like, I'll let them know they peoples. Ain't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to hide. So we pull up in front of 160 Park Hill, the 16, the name of the, you Google 160 Park Hill, that's basically with Cedric 450, whatever, Cedric Avenue, where hip hop is created. 160 Park Hill is where Wu-Tang was created, or Park Hill Avenue. So all them niggas is in front of the building. Now, you God and Ray, I like all these niggas is like people that I'm around because I got friends that were they friends. So we pull up in front, not directly in front because there's a lot of niggas. So we pulled up, couldn't just pull up in the front because the way we was, it would have been, you know what I mean? Bus had to go around. There was a bus cutting through the block at the time, I believe. So we across the street, but direct, you know what I mean? Same shit, still put up in front, but across. So I had to get out the car to get her out because we in a two-door car. So I got the chick out. I pushed the seat back. She get out. Brings the nigga Method Man over to the fucking car, right? She gets back in the car. And then she introduced me or whatever. I'm like, nah, I know you, you know what I'm saying? This how we met. Like, this how we met, man. I said, you friend with my man Bear. Bear's AKA Mitch, my nigga, right? So he knew me or whatever. Now, Meth had a face, very intimidating face. Like, he just had a grill. Very skinny, lanky nigga, but you know, he was slinky, you know what I mean? If anything, I was bigger than him. Meth was always skinny. He just got big with this whole weightlifting shit the past 6-7 years. So I'm talking to the nigga, listen, ain't nothing like that. That's my peoples. She just be with her, riding with her, because I'm fucking with her, and this is her homegirl, but this, my man ain't, you know what I mean? He just, whatever I said. So the Meth bends down into the car and looking at my man like, all right, nigga, what you got to say? So my man just froze and he just kept his head straight. He didn't turn to the left or the right. Now I know for a fact he knew he was looking at him. Yo, no exaggeration. The nigga Meth, the famous face that got him in the game, he stared down and stared at this nigga for about, I'm gonna say 40 seconds. And then that's pushing it, because that's a long time to see a nigga looking at you, staring at you. And he stares at him. Like, yeah, nigga, like, so what you gotta say? And my man didn't even turn to the left or the right. He just pussied out. But I knew my man wasn't built for that. You know, that's why I was doing all the talking, because I'm like, I'd have been better off coming there by myself with the two of them. That would have looked better. But I had him there, and I'm like, nah, you know. And the nigga Meth stared at this nigga, and then Meth just gave me a pound and just, all right, and we took off. And my homegirl was like, yo, his girl was like, yo, drop me off, take me home. So I'll call you later. Like, she was just mad. She was mad because my man pussied out. We didn't have no cell phones or nothing. And if we did, I probably had a next, what was it? It was a cellular one. So when I got home, they both got out the car because, you know, they were two peas in the pot. April calls me and puts the homegirl on the phone like, yo, I ain't never fucking with your man. That nigga was a pussy. This nigga didn't even speak up. He didn't say, you did all the talking. She was furious over that shit, like really mad. Like, and I understood, you know what I mean? And I'm like, they didn't understand, but he ain't really built like that. You know what I mean? Like he ain't one of my niggas that's gonna do that. And not to protect him, he's a guy. He's not a man. You understand what I'm saying? And I know for a fact he has trauma from that day because he hates hearing the story. I'm pretty sure every time he see Method Man, he probably just wants to kill himself. So I say all this to say that one story would have been something that me and Meth would laugh at, but then there's other questions I feel that, whether they're questions on camera or questions off of camera, you know what I'm saying? I've had one of my Method Man's wife, and I got to salute her right now. She is the reason why I took a colonoscopy. She was the one to teach me that I didn't know that they put you to sleep. I literally had a conversation with her off camera about that because she was telling me, because, you know, she spoke on her, you know, her struggles in regards to something that Wendy Williams put out, but whatever, we ain't gonna get into that. But she spoke on that, and you know what I mean? She's overcome it many years ago, some time ago, but she was influencing me how men are scared. You know what I mean? Now, again, she ain't talk about her husband or nothing like that. She ain't try to put him out like that, but we was in an environment where we was doing some, you know, some videos, and she told, anyway, she was the one to tell me that. And I love her for that, I respect her, but y'all not going to get the real deal from a lot of these entertainers. I will say Terrence Howard is he's on a mission. Okay. And he's going to have to just sacrifice his whole career for that, because that nigga's spitting too much of truth. But there's a lot of brothers out here that are still not telling you the real deal because they don't trust another man, nor do they bond with another man to even admit anything, man. Like, imagine something you just got to take to the grave and you got to live with that. And it bothers you. It's one thing if it don't bother you over it, you forgot about it. If you forgot it, you don't think about it. But something that you can't forget, you know what I'm saying? And there's some things that will do that. I mean, I've had friendships. I had a friendship of a homie that, you know what I mean? He did some bullshit recently, about, I would say within the last 4 or 5 months, and it didn't register to me until recently. And I look at him completely different. Now, again, that happens every now and then too. But it wasn't even a trauma. It's more of a situation where I'm like, I didn't forget it, and that's not good. Because normally with me, when I forget things, it's forgiven. The Method Man story, it wasn't nothing to forget. It was like, you know, I'm not trying to say I don't like the Superman, because she got mad at the fact that I had to step up to the plate when this nigga was supposed to protect her, and he pussied out. Even though they wasn't fucking, it's still, it made her look bad, and she just got turned off, and women just get it, you know, very turned off with a bad feminine move like that. So once again, you know, how does a man trust another man to tell him things and he don't know if a nigga gonna throw him under the bus and say whatever? So, but you're not gonna learn about health unless you talk to, like my boy talking to me yesterday. That probably was, there's not a doctor I could hear that from, because it came from him. Just hearing, and it wasn't nothing he said to me. It was the fact that he shared with me his struggle. And I'm gonna keep that shit here, like, you know what I mean? It was really, really big, man. And, you know, I just want to pray for the people, man. Let black men know, like, yo, you know, the only way you gonna keep strong, you niggas gotta get that off, man, by talking to each other. You know? And I know the risk is you don't want nobody looking at you or some shit you may be ashamed about, but if it's fucking with you, you gonna have to talk about that shit, believe me. And same thing I feel like Method, man. Everybody gonna be a groupie with it. Gonna keep asking them the same questions. All I gotta do is ask this nigga, I'm gonna name 3 people and you tell me that's the first thing that come to your mind. And I'm gonna say, boom, how about this person? Just say one word. And then you may say disloyalty, you know what I'm saying? I may be like, well, this person, how about this? Not remembering April's friend's name, then I would bring that in and talk about, yo, remember that? Like, oh, shit, yeah. I'm like, yo, remember that? It was Shorty. We pulled up in a car. You came, you know what I mean? So you got to do it, man. I'm about to be in a little sector right now. I'm about to go to my boy's shop right when I leave here. Once again, you know, we you know, men, so it's like males is going to be in an environment of car fixing, but nobody's really opening up. But men just don't open up, and that's why men don't go to doctors. They don't. The only thing they got now is podcasts and therapy, and even that's not the greatest. Like, that's just teaching you how to open up to the people that you're supposed to open up to. But men have to open up to men. You know, y'all niggas open up to women so much, and that's, again, like, I'm not saying a woman can't hold the fort. I can't say a woman can't raise a good guy, a good man, but he still needs that man in his life, you know what I'm saying? So I urge a lot of women to understand, like, encourage your boys to be around their boys, you know. You see them niggas folding, brothers ain't speaking, get them back together if they got siblings as men, because when a man opens up to a woman, it feminizes him. And I don't mean a disrespect to you, because he's open up to a woman. He's not open up to a man. He has to open up to a species that understands him, and be able to relate. And if they can't relate, they will. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, nigga, I'm older than you younger than me, whatever. But that's why you see these niggas in these gangs and doing all types of crazy shit, niggas raping girls and beating women to death, all types of shit. Like, you know, nigga probably opened up to his mama and was a mama's boy all his life. He ain't never had a father to open up to. And share your struggles. Like, if you have a problem and you try to get some pussy last night and couldn't get an erection, who the fuck is a nigga gonna talk about that with? He just gonna go to YouTube and go get a drug and do something about it, when he should tell somebody, like, yo, big bro, I got something I want to talk to you about, and I want to see if you there. And you'd be surprised, nigga, be like, damn, nigga, I was going through this, that, and the third. Glad you spoke about this, whatever it may be. Maybe the nigga may be scared to go to doctors, but men don't open up to men, and that's why women are hard to read, dudes, because you may be hearing a whole bunch of, oh, I prefer light skin, I want my kids to be all this, but that shit comes from a place, like, nigga just ain't born that way, like, that's what it be, you know. And a lot of times when y'all see me dragging these motherfuckers on Pop the Balloon, these niggas ain't bonding. You see one time when one of the guys diss a girl and they all laughing, that's pussy, that's gay shit, that's real sucker shit. Like, nobody's correcting nigga like, yo, son, chill. Like, she ain't interviewing one of them niggas like, yo, this meatball over here got a, you know what I mean? Like, niggas need that therapy. That's what's called bullpen therapy. You know what I'm saying? They need that, man, because I'm telling you right now, if you niggas ain't have a father to open up to, you gonna just be one damaged fucking man, I promise. My boy, the one I'm talking about, Renee, how's the dude doing today? He's doing terrible. That same dude that was in the passenger seat that Method Man punked out, that nigga's a complete fucking disaster right now. To the point where if it wasn't for me having the love that I had and the loyalty, I couldn't see myself hanging around for nobody like that. Even then, right? I didn't think of it because I'm like, that's my nigga. Like, he ain't nothing like me, but I still accepted him. But now I look at it like, damn, I can't believe I was friends with this mom. But, and not to belittle him, it's just physically seeing us walking down the street together is weird. You know what I mean? Like, you may think I was gay being around this nigga. Not saying he looked gay. It's just the two awkwardness. If y'all hear me on here and knowing that you may see me with my niggas is like, all right, you can see Nate could be around him, but you may see me around him and you may be a little confused. So I'm going to share a video with these two individuals that I still love. You know what I mean? It's a father and son following this one. I'm going to do 2 layouts of it because I'm going to repost it and play it again because I want people to really understand that a lot of these men are really damaged and they need a charm school to understand that not only women, but your brothers got to be able to be open to talk to a brother too. A lot of y'all niggas don't understand, man, especially as you get older, that it's imperative. You know what I mean? You're still not going to be able to talk to a therapist the way you could talk to me. You're still not going to be able to talk to your doctor. It ain't your friend. So even if you met me online or you listening to my videos, not only is it good for you, it's good for women to understand how they know how to deal with men. Where I want to be his everything. Now, you can't be his everything. You know what I mean? Because he's going to need that male bonding. And a man can't bond with a woman. You know, he could be everything else. He could click, close, loving, partner, can't bond. A bond is something you do with the same sex. You understand? As a woman, you bond with another woman. You know, you're a certain age or you're younger and you're going to losing your virginity. You know, a man can't relate to your losing your virginity. It's different. That's womanhood you're talking. So you bond with women because you have womanhood, and you bond with men because y'all share manhood. And so he could hear the pros and cons. But a lot of these men now, they put all their eggs into one woman and go tell her everything, and they pander to her, and you know that just makes you, it just feminizes you. You become her. So it's really important for y'all to understand. When y'all step in here, like realizing this shit that I be, this real venom I be kicking with y'all niggas, y'all gotta understand, like, you know, you're gonna have to hit me up too, man, and inspire. Some of my brothers used to do that when I had my Instagram a little, but it's terrible now. It's only one dude. I only got one. All the rest of my peoples that open up now is women, but no man come here at all. When I had my Instagram, they did, you know what I'm saying? There was brothers that used to open up with their emotion, but they don't open up, man. And the more a man holds that shit in, the worse it gets. So as he gets older, it's going to deplete him. And that's why you're starting to see these situations come to light. So I put a picture up there in the community board about Ludacris. That nigga Ludacris is unhappy as fuck. He got this foreign African woman. She's going to be materialistic as shit. And this nigga's soul, like they said, like Terrence Howard said, that ain't the same soul that we know of Ludacris. You know, some of y'all probably figure you had to get married because you're getting older. That's not true, nigga. Like, you know, maybe that's not the person you were supposed to marry. You know, you ever think of that? So it's important for women to understand this, either whether it's her husband or boyfriend, your father, your brothers. Like, men don't talk to men. They don't talk, and I mean real talk, like real bonding. Like, yo, nigga, thanks for it. My man bonded with me yesterday. You know what I mean? Fuck all that poor shit. He bonded. Like, that was a real deal. Like, I couldn't believe when he said what he was going through. And for him to share the things of, you know, the deeper parts of it, I was like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of niggas wouldn't have said that. A lot of niggas would have not shared that information. So it gave me a closeness to him. To my other man, it gave me more of a distance situation, because what am I going to do? I can't ask this nigga how his health is doing. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be offensive in his eye. Yo, it's good, nigga. What the fuck you mean? You know, when it's not. You know, that's what happens when brothers get offended. They're going to be defensive. When they get offended, they get defensive. So with my other boy, I could say, yo, man, how's your health doing? And he's going to answer it because he's going to give me an update. Needless to say, it's still bonding. You still got to shoot the shot. But, you know, once something is better than nothing, you know, and that's the real most. So a lot of these guys, they want to get women, yo, I want her to get comfortable. And then the woman opens up, like, then you got women out here that bonded with other women and then they did them dirty. I get it, but you got to think about, it's not what you got to think about what you getting out of the bond. Like, motherfucker, you went up there and told somebody all my business, but there's a whole bunch of shit I got out of that, then, you know what I mean? That's your problem. You know, but if we're bonding and I get something out of that, and then the next day I'm like, all right, granted, I've been pretty much on a good diet level as it is, but now I'm even more serious because of what you went through. And I know that shit hit home because it's too close. You inspired me. So let's just say, I don't know, you share some shit that it talked about or whatever, and I'm like, it don't even matter, nigga. Like, what that brother's going through, I wouldn't wish that shit on my worst enemy. So I salute y'all, man, and that's really it, man. I mean, so I don't think we got to take this any further, but I'm gonna release the video. And I want you to see this father and son and look at these two damaged men. I know that they're damaged because I know the father was a provider to the older dude. That was it. He never taught him anything else about women. I got a confirmation on that. And then the younger dude, forget it. Well, he's a spitting image of his father. His father's a dirtbag, so the son's even worse. He's all fucked up. So now think about it. That son now is going to have probably a son one day and then fuck up the world even worse. You know what I mean? I personally, well, anyway, you ain't helping. It's not about me helping them because I did what I could. I mean, I can't do everything. But what I did learn was how contagious that shit is. And that's just what it is. I usually just, I don't want to say, well, that's why I'll keep my distance, because you never know when you have to be around a person. But I will say this, that if you have a contagious environment and what you have is deadly, I will stay the fuck away from it. I don't care whether you're sleeping with fleas, whether your other half is fucked up, whatever it is. If there's been any condition of you questioning the ability of what we had, you need to question your ability because you know me well enough. You know what I mean? So that's just really it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna sign out. These are the things that I do. Like, these are special things I do like to talk about. But men just don't talk, and that's why a lot of niggas don't go. And it's not just black men; all men, they don't talk. Men are scared to go to their doctors because men, unlike women, because y'all got to go to doctor. Some women don't go to GYNs, but y'all are kind of forced to go to the doctor more than a man with your womanhood. And a man, he believes his manhood is, I'm not listening to no doctor. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. But he's scared. He just doesn't want to go to the doctor, and the doctor tells him some shit happened. He doesn't want to hear that. Like, his emotions not going to be able to receive that. You know what I mean? Do I get it? Yeah, but it's acceptable? No, it's not acceptable at all. So, again, an amazing day. I hope you learned a lot from this lesson. It has a lot to do with the first video that I shared with you in regards to how the woman's raising that boy. He's going to be a pussy. And then you see how my man ended up being a pussy as he got older. And now he's worse. And now this nigga's in his fucking late 40s. And God, he's just worse. He's worse than what he was when we was in our teens. So, think about that. Think how serious that is. So that's what you up against when you meeting men that's older. A lot of y'all women like, yo, older men want to date a younger woman. Yeah, because when they were young, they couldn't get her. That's why he's 60 years old. He wants to date a fucking 20-year-old. They're suffering. Niggas ain't putting it into the pie. These niggas ain't have no good relationships with their father. They had relationships, but they didn't have good relationships because how in the hell is that in the mindset where you got mad old niggas now all of a sudden want to be like a white boy and want to fucking, date kids? So niggas is hurting. Niggas is suffering out here, and they really, really are suffering bad. And, when they can't trust the bond of a man, then they come to you. And then you fuck them over and cheat and make them feel like shit or whatever you do, or you throw it in their face because that's what women do, right? Yeah, that's why so-and-so happened. Yeah, well, now he's fucked. Because now he ain't going to never open up to another woman. Right? Now, you know what I mean? Which wasn't making it any better, but the last part was her. He ain't going to definitely open up to no dude because he ain't going to have no nigga throw him under the damn bus. So now he's just going to walk around with that trauma and be all fucked up. Now it starts, the mental trauma is physical. If your brain is not active, right, it's physical trauma. So now the health issues start coming in, you know what I'm saying? Situations that he may do, like Terrence Howard said, he may have to take drugs and alcohol just to cope, to get through the day, to get through the year. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at situations. That's why I posted that picture. I'm going to put the picture back up with Ludacris on this actual thumbnail so y'all can look and see, like, when how we see it. You may not be able to see it the same way, but from my male bonding and my manhood, I could pick up the manhood of his energy and know that he's not a happy man. You know what I'm saying? So Much love to y'all, man. Y'all have a great day, and class is dismissed. Be well. Peace.